Hi Libra, welcome back. We are here to do your psychic astrology update for July 2020. Now I have pulled the cards ahead of time and we're going to talk about a few things that are majorly going to come up for your zodiac sign in particular and how you can navigate the matrix to get the best out of the situation. Also to help you feel that you're not going crazy, to give you a bit of tips, a few tips and a few reasons why some of these things can be coming up so that you can naturally understand what's happening with you. Now we're having at the beginning of the month Saturn moving out of Aquarius back into Capricorn. Now it was in your 5th house, which is a nice placement, I might say, and it's moving back into the home environment, so it does kind of make sense. With Neptune retrograding in Pisces, a lot of your working environment, your health, your routine, the location, very similar to home energy. Subjects to the degree can be coming up about that. So I do feel a lot of you guys are going to be making plans, really maybe feeling not completely sure about how life is looking moving forward. But rest assured, with Saturn moving into Capricorn, it can be heavy, but the outcome by the end of the year and what you're moving to achieve is to move through that last hit of adversity. So with it being in your 4th house, there can be some testing times coming up around the eclipse, which I have pulled cards for. You're also going to find that currently Venus is direct in Gemini. On the 27th of this month, just do be mindful because Neptune will be making a squaring aspect. So it can be a difficult day where integration of your direct routine, your direct environment, your daily movement, because it's very Mercury energy. There can be some conflicts surrounding that, so just try and have patience on that day, and it usually transforms us to a point where we can integrate both energies. Where there's a problem, there's usually a solution. So try and have some patience on that day. Now Juno currently is still in your 1st house placement, so it is really aiding you. Your Venus house also with Mars is going to be having that energy there for 6 months. Some astrologers will say it can be very combative. Other energies can be really, because it is in your chart, your own personal chart will have a stronger location of where the Mars and Aries placement will be for you. So if you don't know, you can book a reading and I can have a look at that. Or at a very collective level, we can look at it as the 7th house. What does this mean? It means that moving forward, you will really be very passionate about connections. Also really assessing connections and if they directly resonate with you. This can be marriages, contracts, partnerships. So in all facets of life really, in your direct connections, you will be really deeply assessing them. You've also got the energy of Cancer in your 10th house, and that really links into your career sector. Plus Mercury retrograde for about, let's say 8 weeks. Most of the month potentially, although it is going direct around July the 12th, we still will have the shadow period. So it might be a very testing time when it does come to scheduling, organisation, routine and emotions. So with your 4th house and your 10th house activated, depending on the type of work you do, if you're working, even if you're trying to obtain a job and things to that degree, it's trying to have patience during that. It is leaving that energy shortly, and a new opportunity towards the end of the month with the new moon in Cancer is going to offer you a second chance energy with the blue moon. Now we're going to get into the ruin of what is coming through for you guys. Did I miss anything? No. Sweet. I may also do an energy read for the karmics based on these. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. Okay, so you do have this as your ruin. And it's really unique in a sense that it's returning home to oneself. Now, it's traditionally known as the last ruin, although it's like the ending and the beginning, which is very karmic in a sense of a cycle that we're ending and beginning. So it's the tying out of that, and it's also you returning to your roots, your home, your ancestry, your spiritual truth, you as a person, which is quite unique because the Cancer placement for you guys is your 4th house. No, that's Capricorn. 10th house. So it's your career sector, but it's you authentically returning to who you are, both within your home and within your own energy. energy. Now with this card, it's with this crystal, I can never get it right. There you go. My body and mind are in balance, Libra. I am healthy. Now this can be something that you're really looking at, and it does make sense because 6th house placement of Neptune, your routine, if something is affecting you and the vibration and you're deeply empathic, you may directly feel vibrations very sensitively. So especially with the blue energy coming through, it can be linking in with Mercury, and the testing times surrounding that energy with the zodiac sign Cancer and Mercury. Reduce inflammation, release anger and resentment, heal old mental and emotional wounds, which again with the moon energies, it's bringing these frequencies up. Improve inner peace, balance mind, body and emotions. So if you find that your chakra system needs balancing, depending on where the pain body experience is coming up, and I know the energy of the Cancer eclipse, which we experienced last month, was really linking into the sacral chakra, which was your frequency having some energy to be able to move through that. I also saw a lot of base chakra coming through. So depending on where you have that pain body experience or ailments, you can actually do meditation in that area to help balance that for you. You can also use the food groups. Now, past energy of what's coming through for you guys. And synchronistically, I was really feeling each time you've attempted to make plans and proceed forward, it appears to be that there were hurdles, which I don't think there's one person on the planet that hasn't had that, but for you guys it does feel quite heavy. A lot of it, you were wanting your power back. There was maybe a push-pull energy that was going on where there was a power play at hand. Whatever that related to, I do feel it's coming up in your mind's eye. I also feel you are really trying to understand and comprehend that as to why people were reacting that way. And I'm just looking at the 11th house placement. I do feel with Jupiter moving into Aquarius, that for you guys by the end of the year, because it does occur December 19th, it's going to be entering Aquarius. You're going to be around people of a tribe-like nature more so that are more conducive with who you are. In the past, I don't feel this was occurring. I do feel it was quite combative for you. Now, with Mars being in your Venus house, I'm really feeling you're almost in this energy of don't mess with me. It's a frequency where you're really returning home to self. I do feel there could be some manipulation at play. You may be very intuitive at the moment, and again, very intuitive in a sense that if you sense something to the contrary, where there's manipulation or anything to that degree, I feel you're really going to be on your A game when it comes to it. So rest assured, you're going to see the smoke and mirrors. Moving forward, I feel you're just wanting to move away from people, places and things, again, that don't resonate with you. And again, I am feeling energies surrounding you that maybe feel they have a better idea as to what you should be doing, and it may be coming from the kindness of nature, but again, I'm picking this energy more as external influences. Also with you in your career sector, I am feeling you guys are working towards an end goal, and I'm also sensing you guys are going to be keeping your cards quite close to your chest. There could also be an influence of other people around you that you're very cautious around. But again, almost that I'm really sensing a very scorpionic energy, a very intuitive energy. And it may be due to the fact that Pluto is retrograde until about October, and you're tapping into that frequency. So if this connects to career for you guys, your 10th house, your 4th house is activated. So it could be somebody surrounding the home or surrounding the energy of the eclipse. Now with the Cancer energy, again, your career sector, again, I'm feeling a similar energy. So both in these two zones, I do feel intuitively you will know how to directly deal with the adversity and if it's yours to deal with. Financially, I'm also feeling you know, a lot of energy last month came through where we were using gin removals and energy clearing tools. I do feel you're being very cautious, more so with the cash component, but not from a perspective of being showy with your money. I also feel some of you are going to hear news in relation to finances. Now, this may be an unexpected bill. It could be in your surrounding environment, connected to people you know. And I'm also feeling a battle surrounding such. But I'm not feeling it's linking in with you. I just feel you're being very cautious as to your finances and who you're telling, you know, not wanting the evil eye to come towards you, because I do feel there might have been some disputes connected to a separate energy. Now, career-wise, I do feel after this eclipse that we're moving through, I do feel towards the end of the month, moving into August, things are going to lighten up and there could be some brand new opportunities coming your way. So if you are seeking employment, I do feel as long as you're, you know, returning to your roots, I'm also seeing an inheritance coming through for some of you. There could be something that's owed to you and it's returned to you. It also can be a very lucky point where it's external income coming to you, but your guides are directly protecting you. So I feel more, you know, any work you're putting into your career sector, by the end of the month, I do feel things are going to ease up for you, especially with the 10th house placement and the heavy Cancer energy this month. So once that residue energy transforms, I do feel for the next 6 months you guys will be working on that through to 2021, and there are benefits moving your way. Now, the first eclipse we're moving into, which is the lunar eclipse in Capricorn, as I mentioned, it's going to hit your 4th house. So there can be something coming up to do with your home. It's also, you know, when we look at first house placement, it's also your psychology, your belief system surrounding something. And with Neptune retrograde, I do think you guys are really going to be looking at your health, the direct environment, how you see home. And it's funny because this room directly connects to you being home. How do I place it? It's like you returning to home and realizing that home is not a location, it's inside of oneself. So I feel this is going to really, it's a release of a blockage spiritually inside of you, and you're turning over a new leaf and you're making plans as to what this new home energy is going to be. But it's almost like whatever's inside you in an energy frequency, very similar to the Mars energy, you're going to put your money where your mouth is and you're going to make it happen. So if you're not happy with the home environment, and you have made peace with your blockages and emotions, I really do feel some positive luck is coming your way. I am feeling it's more about 3 days after. I feel the energy kind of relaxes, and by this stage I do feel opportunities are opening up for you. I also feel there potentially could be a scenario that plays out, and this could even be on the 3rd. I keep saying the 3rd for some reason. With the new moon in Cancer, we call this a blue moon, and it is a new opportunity for you guys to actually have a second chance in a situation. So with your career, by this stage, Mercury should have gone direct, a bit more so. And from the eclipse we had previously, with Mercury in Cancer, and then the new moon in Cancer on the 20th, this is a brand new opportunity, and I feel some new doors. It's almost like I'm seeing you looking at spiritual wealth, looking at your internal compass, and really meditating upon what these new belief systems are. Are things based on, you know, and this could be a lot of options coming towards you and having to select very carefully. Now, Neptune goes direct. Ooh, gee, that's fun. November 29th. So, you know, if you're feeling very confused, it may be due to the fact that during the retrograde of Neptune, it's clearing up what is a fantasy and what is a, you know, a hope and dream you wish to manifest. But I do feel that there could be multiple options, and it's really gauging and assessing them, especially with that Mars energy, what you feel is going to be best for you. I'm also sensing a dream come true, one in which you let go of. And I'm also feeling finances coming back your way. I do feel an opportunity and head picking. And you might have had to have jumped through hoops to really achieve these things, feeling really that, you know, maybe you had been left out in the cold. And I just feel something very new coming your way. The energy does feel positive, but I really don't feel you sensed it coming. Some of it is really, you know, through your hard work and efforts. But I do feel it's a dream returning nevertheless, an opportunity coming through this Neptune retrograde. Now, around your tribe, there can be some conflict, and I do feel there potentially could be an energy that has been interfering, or maybe you're feeling two's company, three's a crowd. It just feels that there has been some heartbreak surrounding a situation, and you're trying to create a healthy balance. Again, with this Mars energy, I do feel that, you know, your connections that you're choosing to move away from, because it's more tribe, it's not romance. I pull the romance separately. I feel it could be prejudice, ego, conflict with energy surrounding you that you've tried to balance out. And I just feel something to do with this energy might be coming up where you directly separate from these individuals. But I feel it's creating a healthy balance, going inside yourself, especially with this, assessing the health of your body and your well-being. And this could be a very delusional energy or energies. That makes sense. Okay, family overall can be very, very busy. I do feel from the Capricorn eclipse moving into August, this is going to be a time when you're going to have to really multitask. You might feel you've bitten off a little bit too much. Between your work environment and your home environment, these are two very heavy energies that are playing out. So if you're feeling this push, pull, and exhaustion energy, you know, using crystals, taking time out, having a break if you need to, I think will really help you. This can also be linking with Mercury because it is 2. You know, and the image that's being shown to me is Gemini. Now, for you guys, it is your 9th house, so again, it links into movement. Gemini, however, usually from a frequency, I do feel a lot of you guys are making big plans, assessing where you're going to live, like I mentioned before. Due to the fact that it is the 9th house placement, I do feel there can be some contradicting energies. Mercury generally is very local. However, 9th house can be quite wide. So this could even be differing views, a lot of travel happening with family, but definitely multitasking at hand. Yeah. Okay. Your love life. Let's look at your love life. Yeah, I'm telling you, these external energies, again, this come up in the past. Something in the past that has occurred is coming back again for a rerun. And it's funny because this does actually mention that. I'll quickly read this for one because it was like, oh my god, this is interesting, Libra. Okay. Where is it? The ties that bind but do not restrict. Homeland, ancestral property, the archetype story of the hero, returning to one's roots. It does link to Raven, Earth, and Odin. There was a little piece in here that was really unique in the way they articulated it. I'm trying to locate it. You might end up feeling as though you're doing a 360 and that you're repeating a cycle. It's really with who you are inside. It's not that you're repeating a cycle. It may feel like you're repeating a cycle, but it's whatever the cycle is, it's pushing you into you internally to return home. Some of you, this can link in again with your belief systems, and that your belief systems have been your navigating light. And I do feel for some reason, especially with the Crow energy, that your ancestors are guiding you through this adversity at the moment. And, you know, especially with Neptune retrograde, we do get the light and the dark coming in. And I'm really sensing, especially at a financial level, if you've been working incredibly hard, I do feel, you know, in your mind, you're trying to create a future moving forward. I do feel maybe there could be a subject matter coming up to do with money, to do with work, and to do with overindulgence and placing too much energy on one location. Now, this could be your belief connected to your love interest. This could also be associated externally on your side of the fence or their side of the fence. But again, it's linking in with your crowning energy, with your tribe energy, and with your romance. So there are situations that are going to play out during the month that can link into money, potentially even manipulation. But I do feel you and or separately with your counterpart are going to be sorting this energy out. Now, whatever you've been trying to do moving through this year, and I feel it could even be further back from potentially even 2002, but heavily so the last 2.5 years, has been to receive your energetic freedom from spiritual blockages, from toxic energies, from scenarios that interfere, and from feeling and being a particular way. Now, at the heart of it, this moon energy is really causing you to go into yourself. This can feel quite lonely. Some of you, if you're single, waiting on this energy, it's this internal vibration that's coming up in a purgatory sense. But again, it feels like you can sense something's coming up. Now, if there has been a situation playing out for a long time, I'm feeling with the eclipses and the new moon, this is where it's bringing it to a complete head. And this is connected into your destiny, but ending a very karmic cycle. It's odd because we were talking about the 5 energies this morning with my spiritual friends, and the 5s are really adverse, you know. They always do bring about something very positive. But in the initial stages, it can feel very unsettling. With this card, generally, like whatever you and or with this love interest, you have been working extremely hard to get out of this conflict. And I do feel you have what it takes this month to climb out of this conflict situation. Whatever will play out, it's almost like with the Raven, I feel your guides are helping you. But you do and may sense this can be present. This can even be you tuning into, if certain things aren't dealt with, that's where it's heading. And that's really what I'm getting with this. I almost picture you sitting there and you're observing a situation. It feels quite funny actually. I'm quite amused by this vision. And you're looking at the people involved, but you're not saying anything. With you not saying anything, I think your facial expression is saying it all. So whatever this is, I think it's you've had enough. So with that, it's your viewpoint, and it's very fiery. It's very, like I said, Venus, Mars, 6 months. Moving forward, because you have that Mars placement, I don't feel a tolerance connected to that. I do feel intuitively this individual feels that we're going to tune into their energy. Both of you either A, are in communication in relation to this, or B, you got the same mindset. This person may be disgusted by a situation that occurred. That's what I'm hearing. Because there's shame linking in with this, but there's also, I don't feel this is an action this person has done. I feel it's, again, external energies. Now, past tense energy, again, the Justice card's here, so it feels as though they were dealing with you, wanting the balance, having that direct intent, and that I do feel, regardless of what's happened between you, there is the intent of integrity. This is a deep reflection looking back now, and quite uniquely, I do feel if both of you have been, you know, emotionally dealing with external situations separately or jointly, at the heart of it, their intent is, you know, that they may have heard something and it's really turned them the wrong way, and they're absolutely heartily sick of it. But I do not feel it's linked to you. Their foundation, they have worked incredibly hard, and they're looking at it and thinking, maybe even the same as what you're thinking, and you'll have to look at their zodiac sign to see what's coming up with theirs at an additional level. Because moving forward, as far as they're concerned, they're like, it doesn't tempt them. Understanding, having compassion, manipulation, really getting to a point, they've had this energy around them, they're moving into making a complete judgment. And I do feel this is a very firm judgment they're making. I just feel in general, how do I explain the vision I'm getting? I do feel they know this as such. But it's a repeat one too often that it's got to for them at some level, whatever that means. Because of this, I feel they're legitimately looking at it like these spilled cups, and this can be in relation to 4 individuals 4 times. Really seeing the value on the opposite side of this, and looking at it like if they were to stay in that energy, no pleasure would come from it. I also feel they're having dreams in relation to where they want to be with you. And it's odd because these wings coming behind, it's like they feel you could be a very power couple. And uniquely, the purple above the head is almost like their crown chakra is open. They're very rationally looking at this. You know, and Saturn moving into Capricorn, you know, go and look at their placement where it sits. I would not be surprised if there's an additional message. For you, you're focused very heavy on your career and your home environment. The Capricorn energy for you guys is hitting your Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter currently until the end of the year. You had a visit of the 5th house, which is your luck. And, you know, even having that time frame to sit in that vibration and then moving back into the Capricorn energy heavily so, I just feel it's really hitting the crown chakra. It's like knowing what you need to end, knowing what's stagnant, very, very psychic, telepathic energy of what needs to go. So when you're being pulled back into that vibration, I feel this is both of you. I just don't feel that will work. Let me look further. It's funny because even through your read, the first thing I was hearing, Libra, is you don't need to do anything. Now, when I say that, it's like your facial expression, the direct scenarios. And it's funny because you feel so emotional. Really strange energy. This person may have upset you at a point, or there could be people that are upsetting you with this. You know, I think that is the last straw for this person. And maybe even for you, I think it's really getting to the point. It's like, you have the direct compassion, you have the understanding, whatever this is playing out, you know, a lot of ascension symptoms, having to focus on your health, keeping it really simple, a lot of scheduling going on here, a lot of busy energy, be it you're at home or not, this month does feel very energetic. Now, as I mentioned, by the time we get to August, it is going to be lighter, but even looking at your cards, you're looking at your options. Some of you, I feel, very quietly, depending on the direct situation you're in. I mean, we've got a lot of people. We've got, you know, people that are on the fence. We have energies which are in connections. We have energies that are twin flames. And I could probably go through a few messages for each of you. Those of you that are on the fence in a very karmic relationship, I feel this longing of jumping. And I do feel, you know, maybe the trigger has been work, money, home. I also feel this is coming to a, you might be keeping yourself quiet, but you're feeling this vibration inside. Partnered energies, again, I feel very, very busy. Not saying anything, allowing the other person to own their power. Those of you that are single, I do feel whatever they're dealing with, this romantic interest you're tuning into, it's bringing it to a full head. And they're moving into their power, and potentially there could be communication and visitation. But it's very firm. It's a final judgment. I'm going to leave it at that. Feel free to write comments. Be aware of the dates I mentioned. Now, by the time we enter at the end of the year, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because when we do have the planets going direct, which we're going to have Pluto going direct October 4th, we're going to be having Saturn goes direct this month. What else do I need to tell you? Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter. Jupiter will be going direct September 13th. So you've still got a bit more time where, you know, with your growth, with your movement, you're cleaning up things, reassessing things, tidying things up. I do feel you guys as well, with the 11th house placement in 2021, you're going to be changing the people you mix with. It's like, you know, 11th house placement there. Both the bigger picture is, where are you meant to be? And I do feel the reason this is coming up this month is due to the fact that we had Saturn and Aquarius. So, you know, with that landing in your 11th house, it's very 11th and 5th. There's a lot of luck when it comes to your physical movement and changes. But yeah, really, really changing the location of where you are. Let me double check for any last messages. You will find any Leo placements are going to bring you the best luck. So there is luck surrounding each eclipse. It can just be a testing time. So try and be patient with that. I'll see you during the month for the Twin Flame Live updates and for the moon transits for the astrology. Love and light.